Hello, welcome back. Today I'm going to be working on this. This is a Kirby Avalir 2. This is the newest model out on the market right now as of 2021. And this was brought in. It appears to be spitting out at them from what they say. That's the description they gave. It's spitting stuff out. Now with most vacuums, that entails a clog in the hose or something. Something's clogged somewhere to make it spit out. Now just spinning the brush roller, I hear something. I don't know if you can hear it. It's a little clicking sound. Well, I got it plugged up already. We're going to check it out and see if it works. Yeah, let me go ahead and tell you, if your Kirby sounds like that, that is not the way it should sound. It sounds like a fan issue. I don't know this for sure, but we're going to go with that assumption. It has power. Let me explain this, what I'm doing. I'm taking the power head off, the power nozzle. First thing you do, lift it. Don't undo this yet. This is the latch that holds it all in place. Undo the belt first. Belt on, green on green. If red on red, belt off. You flip the handle out. All these Kirbys, all the newer models, I say newer in the last 20, 25 years, have this same basic concept. It may be a little different where you flip something out and spin it. Now it'll start to give a little resistance because the belt is stretching out. You're stretching it to get it off the spindle. See, red on red, the belt's off, it's disengaged. Then you just pop that and it falls right off. Do not leave this like this. I mean, you can, it'll stretch the belt out a little more, but I try not to. I don't want the belt stretched to any excess because, well, I don't, that's why. So, okay, what do we have here? We have hair and junk all over here, which that's not making the clicking sound. Look. Yeah, it's not supposed to sound like that. So there's something down in there. I do not see anything obviously wrong with the fan. They may have sucked something up. People suck up the craziest things with vacuums. And Kirby's, I think, get more abuse than anything. They vacuum up mud and things like that with them. It's insane the amount of stuff that comes out of these. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take it apart and get the fan. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Ugh. Ugh. The bag twists off. Let me see if I can set you up so you can see it. Now it's kind of tight in there. And it does take two hands sometimes because it locks on and it has a safety mechanism here. Down in there behind all that dirt and grime is a little switch. The bag pushes against it. If the bag's not locked in properly, the Kirby will not run. Now the cord's already broken. We can see that right here. It's supposed to right there, but you know, whatever, the cord still works. Let's take this apart. Now the handle is already missing, the handle assembly. You saw how to take the power head off. If you do not have some way to keep up with screws, I get these at the Dollar Tree. Let's see if I can hold it. Dollar Tree has so much useful stuff, and guess what, it costs $1. It has little dividers in here. I separate my screws. I'll do it in an OCD way so I know which screw goes where. Now most of these screws are going to be a T20, a Torx bit 20. The ones here holding the cord on are T15. Now on some of the older models, it'll be right here. It'll still be a T15. But to get the cord off, T20, T20, and pretty much T20 from there on out until you get into the brushes and everything, but we're not going to talk about that now. Now I have my handy tool set here, missing the T10, but T15 and T20. Them are the ones I use mostly. Occasionally I use a Phillips head, but I do have my Phillips head screwdriver sitting over there in my little toolbox that I like. So the first thing you do, make sure it's unplugged. Make sure your Kirby is unplugged before you do this. T20, Pretty simple. Take the screw out. Now you'll notice I'm not going to take the cord screws out here because, well, they're not holding anything. It's broken. But I usually put them in with the one holding the power cord cover and the one holding the trim plate back here. I'll put them all together. They're all different screws. Yes, there's two T20s, but they're obvious difference. That way I know them are the last steps in this process. Okay, see, there's a tech drive belt from a different Kirby, a G5 I'm working on. Okay, now here's my flathead. This little trim plate pops off, but in order to do it easiest, you just get in there. It's much easier with two hands, by the way. But since I'm holding a camera, it wants to give me a hard time. Let's get, hold on. We'll get the bigger one. It's a little sturdier. There. Pops off. Now don't just snatch up. It slides back a little bit. And the reason it does that is it has two hooks here that hold it in place. They go up under this metal piece right here. When you put it back on, let me show you. They slide up under there and hook, and then this back part clips in place. I must have zoomed in, sorry about that. So you clip it up under there, you can kind of see them going in place. And they lock up under there, up under the lip, and then it snaps in place there in that hole. I'll just throw it to the side. Now, you're back to the lovely T20s. You got 4 screws to take out here. 1, 2, and yes, I know I haven't taken the cord out yet. Okay, and 3 and 4. Them are the ones to take the hood, as I call it, off. Let's get this cord off because it's not bothering me, but it may bother some people. Kind of slide it to the side and it pops down. Don't just pull it out, it folds down. As you can see, it's got a little hook piece on it that goes in the bottom and sits there and then flips up and locks into place, and then you slide it over to the left and then it locks in place. But we know the cord's good, so bam, it's gone. So let's get these screws now. Now basically all the Centrias, G3, G4, G5, G6, they're all basically the same. They come apart. The tech drop belt I was showing you a moment ago, you can actually see it right there on this Avalir too. That's what operates the transmission there. It goes from the motor to gear and drives it. It's much easier if you have an electric screwdriver. You can use one of them. I'm old-fashioned. I like to use this. And it's a ratcheting bit I have, but I just don't use the ratcheting feature. Call me old-fashioned. And believe it or not, I can take this apart in about 15 minutes, and actually probably less than that. Probably about 10 minutes with two hands. 10 minutes, have it totally ripped apart and put back together and know what's wrong with it. It doesn't really take that long. Kirby has a great design for working on at home for the do-it-yourself people. Now, I'm not one of these fancy guys that edits a lot of videos. I edit 0 of my videos, actually. One day I'll figure that feature out and I'll edit things. Let me swap hands here. Now notice when you're taking these 4 screws out, these 2 and the 2 in the back that I just took out, these here in the front have a little point on them. I don't know if you can see it. They have a little sharp point. They're different than the ones in the back. In my tray, I keep all them 4 together because they are part of the same process. These go in the hood. These 3 or 4, depending on the model, will be the trim plate, the power cord, and the other two, the T15 power cords. But now we have the hood is ready to come off. So what you're going to do, you just, sometimes you got to set that down and take it off.